Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I am Drunken Rudo, joined as always by AJ Haefele on today's show. The Avs fall 4-2 to the LA Kings in what was basically a classic hang-around game. The Avs just did not put their business away, let the Kings hang around, and pay the price for it.
Yeah, this was basically a carbon copy of Game 2 against the Dallas Stars.
Yep.
They get up a couple of goals, and then they dick around, give bad officials good reasons to call penalties on them, fall apart on the PK, and then lose in the third period.
That pretty much sums it up. The cardinal sins here. Look. You have a goaltender who's played 19 minutes of NHL hockey before tonight. It was his first NHL start. And you give that dude 5 penalties to kill, 5 penalties to kill, including a 5-on-3. Like, no one is shocked.
A lengthy 5-on-3,
yeah.
not like 12 seconds of a 5-on-3 where if they lose the face-off, it ends up not mattering. Instead,
Right. I think that's the point I'm trying to make, though, is, look, Hunter Miska is not at fault here at all, regardless of how you think he played. The dude's playing his first NHL start, and the Avs just kind of served him a garbage biscuit and said deal with it. And he only gave up 3 goals on the night, if you don't count the empty netter. He gave the Avs a chance to win this game, and the Avs just didn't come through.
Sure. I don't have any problems with Hunter Miska tonight.
Agreed.
There are no. I don't think he looked that great. All of the oh my god, Hunter Miska looks awesome. I wasn't seeing any of that. He was totally fine.
He was fine. I agree.
I have no. You're playing a third string goaltender at his first NHL start. You're just hoping to be competitive. Hunter Miska did everything that you could ask.
Yep. I think that Miska made life harder for himself than he needed to. Some of the great saves he made were him scrambling around like a maniac. But at the same time, this game was 2-1 Colorado halfway through the second period. He absolutely gave the Avs every opportunity to win this game, and the Avs just did not do the job, which brings me to the part of this game that is just unacceptable, cannot be okay going forward, period, full stop for the Colorado Avalanche. 4 shots on goal in the third period, a period where it was tied 2-2 at the beginning, and they just got straight up outplayed for the entire period.
Yeah, I don't even think that, I don't even feel like they got all that outplayed. LA just capitalized.
Sure.
That was it, man. Like, They created some good scoring chances. They looked like they had they created better opportunities than the Kings did. I mean, you're throwing that. I mean, they got outshot 8-4 in the third period, and one of those was the empty netter, of course. But it's like neither team did much in that third period. The Kings just put one quality opportunity on goal that the Avs didn't.
Look, I'm not even knocking the Avs' opportunities. I think they got good opportunities in the third period, but I'm sorry. They put 2 shots on goal in the first 18 minutes of the third period. You cannot have that, period.
Wide. Make a goalie make a save. You make Jonathan Quick look like a demigod out there because everything is nowhere near the net. The guy's going side to side. He's diving all over the place. He's scrambling around like a madman. Like, I really just make the goalie make a save, man. It's very frustrating.
Drunkenly closed the wrong tab. No, that definitely didn't happen.
I was like, where did Rudo go? Is he okay?
It's basically 2/3 of the top line showed up and whooped that ass in the first period. Landeskog didn't do anything. Blows the 2 scoring chances that he gets during the game.
Yep.
This is the game that reminds you that Gabe Landeskog is just not on the level of his line mates. I'm not putting a loss on him, of course, but he's not as good as the two guys that he plays with, and he blows a couple of golden scoring opportunities. Should have scored on the first shift of the second period on the 2-on-1 with Rantanen. That would have made it 3-0, and they're walking away. They're cruising the rest of that, and instead 2-0, and it's just, I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. Like, yes, Landeskog missed golden opportunities in a game that he could have easily put away, and then at the end of the game could have tied and forced overtime, but he hits the post. But at least the opportunities were there. For the third straight, 3 out of the 4 games the Avs have played this season, honestly, all 4, even the 8-0 blowout, the Avs' second and third lines are just non-existent.
Yeah. Second line tonight, Nazem Kadri, 2 shots on goal. Val Nichushkin, 0 shots on goal. Brandon Saad, 0 shots on goal.
And Kadri missed another wide open net.
Flubs not included in those shots on goal, him flubbing an open net. And in the entire net, the easiest rebound is a pass off the pads. And just flubs it. And then responds to it immediately by tracking down the puck and tackling that dude and getting called for a penalty. And it's just like, okay.
Right.
You're gonna play like shit. I mean, this is, you kind of shrug it off that Kadri had a slow start last year. He's had a slow start this year, but it just looks bad.
You can't have your entire middle six disappear because Andre Burakovsky's not in the lineup. Andre Burakovsky isn't that player. He's not driving that force. Your middle six just has to be better.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's not even just the middle six, man. I mean, even you talk about the fourth line was good tonight, right? They had good energy. Yeah, they were in the offensive zone, but
no
you
production.
See, this is why they're going to replace these guys in the next year, because can't finish anything.
Yeah, Calvert had 3 grade A opportunities that he just couldn't beat quick on.
Yeah, like great job creating them, great energy, good. All of that is good and well, man. But it's a good thing Calvert's already had his kids, because he's not finishing anything else right now.
Oof. We call that an oof.
It's Belmar doesn't even look like an NHL player to me anymore, to be honest with you. I'm done. I'm over it.
Offensive zone puck management is just yikes.
Yeah, he doesn't have
yikes.
He just doesn't have the skill. It's bad, dude.
Yep.
And like Tyson Jost, your process looks good. You're all over the place. You're doing this. You're doing that. Can't score. I don't know that Tyson Jost could score on me right now.
Your process can be good for 200 games. If you put up 0 points, it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, you gotta be doing something to get pucks into the net. And the Avs just were not in the second half of this game.
I like that 2 nights ago we were huge homers, and now we hate the entire Avs
now,
team.
Tonight we're going to get people in the chat like, why are you so negative? Let's talk about something positive then. Nathan MacKinnon looks like a straight-up MVP already. 7 points on the season is literally the only reason the Avs scored any goals tonight. Can he do no wrong? What does Nathan MacKinnon need to help him out?
I mean, Nathan MacKinnon doesn't need to change a damn thing. Mikko Rantanen doesn't need to change a damn thing either.
True.
All they have to do is, if they continue to play like they've been playing, they're going to be just fine. Yeah, their play on the power play was also good.
The first power play unit did everything but score, and they even scored once.
Right,
so.
They got 1 goal, and it could have easily been 2 or 3 more, because they created plenty of opportunities. Like, they played well.
Yeah,
they played well. I mean, you want to talk about a dude that's needs to step it up just a little bit. You need more from Cale Makar. He's got, in 4 games right now, he's got a 3-point night where he was dope, and then after that, he's just been okay. He's responsible for the blown net front coverage on the game-winning goal, and he's not doing anything offensively right now.
his ability to get pucks through on the power play has been lackluster, to say the least.
Well, and he's not scaring anybody because he's not driving anything. When he's on, part of what made him so good last year, part of why he scored 12 goals is because he got the puck and he would shimmy shake some fool. He would pull the Iverson nonsense, put some dude in his rear view mirror, and he would get 8 feet closer to the net and he'd fire a wrister off. And he's got a great wrist shot and he can get it through traffic. He can score, but it hadn't been happening. He's content firing one-timers from there, and he scored like one-timer goal in his entire college career. It's not really his thing. And I just, I think you need to see a little bit more from Makar.
Yeah.
It's not just, it's funny because Makar's underlying numbers were unbelievable in this game. They were, at one point, it was like he'd been on the ice for like 13 shots for and 1 against. So I don't want to like drop the hammer on Cale Makar and be like, he's the reason they lost. There is no singular reason that they lost, Greg Patterin included. It's just that they had scoring opportunities that they just did not capitalize on.
This is the difference, though. Cale Makar, Calder winner, scores points. Tyson Jost has good process.
Mm-hmm.
That is the difference between being an elite high-end player and being a player who's a quality NHLer, but is not the guy you're going to rely on.
Yeah. I mean, you look at tonight. They're all just going through the underlying stuff. They have the advantage in scoring chances, 24-17. High danger chances, 10-8. They've got the expected goals for advantage. They've got more shot attempts. They've got more shots on goal. They've just throughout the entire game, they've got all these things in their favor at even strength.
Zero argument. I think the Avs definitively outplayed the LA Kings. I think the Avs are definitively the better team, but it doesn't matter because they didn't win this game. We can take our first period break at that point because I'm too drunk to continue going down this path. All right, fam, we have a new partner that you can support, ZoomCare. The one great thing that we can take away from a pandemic is the ability to do more things from the comfort of our own home, like this podcast that we're doing right now. Nobody likes sitting in a doctor's office or even going to the doctor at all for that matter, but we do all need to take care of ourselves. So what is video care? Video care is like a trip to the doctor, just from your couch. You can see, hear, and chat with your doctor, just like a traditional office visit. Get secure access to urgent, primary, and specialist care, including mental health. So look, it's got you covered top to bottom. Even most private insurers endorse video care. So they will take care of you. It will be covered by your insurance, usually with a copay. I'm not an insurance master. I'm not going to get into the details there. Visit ZoomCare.com to get started. That's ZoomCare.com. Nothing better than getting a diagnosis from your doc while sitting in your own living room. Check them out today and see just how easy it is to take care of yourself.
I want us to design a situation where Rudo has to do more spelling live.
Please, God, I barely made it through that.
He's been drinking all night.
Barely made it through that .com, all right? Please don't do that.
But when you started to struggle through care at C-A-R-E.
No, I got to the M and I was like, did I say 3 O's or 2?
I started feeling like I was watching one of those DUI videos from the dash cam of the cop where he's like, all right, I want you to say the alphabet forward, and you're like, okay, I'll sing the national anthem.
No, you ready? Like, Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
No, please no.
ZYXWVUTSR. I can't go any further than that. That's all I got for the backwards alphabet. I got to R. That's pretty good. I feel like I did better than most.
Better than I could do right now. Stone Cold Silver.
Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. We have Evan Rawal coming on the show, listening to my drunk babble. Let's get some actual sound from the players instead of me here.
Yeah, with some babbling.
we need a new cast for that couch because this cast tonight did not get it done.
Hey, happy birthday to Michael Hedden and Jonathan Quick. No more couch talk.
All right, so let's talk about locker room talk then. What is the vibe? What vibe did you get tonight, Evan?
The vibe that I got was that they felt like they controlled the play 5-on-5. It's just they took too many penalties, and that's what kind of turned the game around. Mainly in that second period, and then from there it was more execution. Bednar was quick to point out that they attempted plenty of shots. It's just none of them hit the net. So I thought 5-on-5 they were the better team through 2 periods. That third period was a little bit more even, I would say, and that's really all it took when the game's tied at that point. So yeah, just disappointing to see that be the result after I guess playing a subpar team.
Just for the record, at 5v5 in the third period, the Avs had 14 shot attempts, only 2 on net.
Not good, Bob.
Yeah, not good.
Speaking of Bobs, I guess he's not really a Bob, but I call him Bob sometimes because Bowen Byram, Bo B, you get it. I'm sure Chad understands.
No, we're not calling him Bobai. I don't care how much RK tries to make it thing.
Forget Bobai, Bobby, okay?
I'm not calling him Bobby either.
I will also accept Yam because he seems to play with Kale a lot. So Kale and Yam is fine.
That's anything so weird. Else? Nobody plays with Kale, okay? Everybody is miserable when they have to try and ingest Kale. It is unnecessary evil.
This is exactly what I'm saying. Other teams have to play already against Kale, which they hate, and then they have to play against Yam as well.
No.
Nobody wants to eat Kales and Yams, all right?
There was 2 Kales in this game tonight, wasn't there?
Yeah, one of them is bad. Yeah. He spells his name with a K, so he's out. In any case, Bowen Byram's first ever NHL game. I like that there wasn't anything too special, but you could see certainly not a kid who lacks confidence. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I like that. I like that he did not spend very much time worrying about anything. This is what happens when you give a young guy with that kind of talent the confidence to go be who he is and say, "Hey, we're just going to get you in there." There wasn't a lot of the tentativeness and hesitation you see from young guys that are just getting into the lineup. But Connor Timmins, a great example of a guy that sometimes looks a little lacking in confidence with what he's doing, and it can be problematic. With Byram, none of that tonight. Yeah, he did his thing. You know, the defense wasn't amazing, but it's not going to be like he's not. It's not like he's an incredible defender at the junior level either. But
here's the thing: he didn't hurt the Avs, and you can see it's not there yet. But you can see where the offense, if it comes together, is something special.
Yeah, very aggressive with the puck. Doesn't have any issue moving it around, man. I mean, he looks comfortable with him on the ice. All the underlying numbers are good. The Avs they had a 9-4 shot advantage, and the quality was there too. He looks fine. He's not the guy that I would be pulling off of that defense tomorrow to put Erik Johnson in.
There are definitely 2 other dudes I'd pull before Byram. Those being Patterson and Timmins.
Yeah. I would pull both of those guys out for tomorrow, put Johnson in. Go back to 12-6.
Assuming Burakovsky's good to go tomorrow, he did practice.
I don't even give a shit if he's not good to go.
He's not.
No?
Yeah, they announced he's not good to go.
Put Martin Kaut in.
Yeah, I'd play Martin Kaut over Patterson anyway, but there you go. So expectations for Grubauer tomorrow.
That's me.
Anything else from the locker room, Evan?
No, I will say on Byram, I thought he was good. It's got to be I guess that was his second NHL shift, but to see Kopitar come down your wing and have to defend him one-on-one, that's, he's not offensively the guy he was once, but he's a lot to handle. And obviously he took a penalty there, but I thought he was good. He wasn't afraid to push the pace, to, I guess, skate with the puck. He held on to it a good bit in the offensive zone. I thought he was good. It's a good start, and I like that the staff didn't really seem to care about sheltering him really in any way. He was starting shifts in the defensive zone with Makar. It was just like, hey, let's see what this guy's got.
Look, if you can drop Byram in and not have to worry about him, the Avs are in a good spot on their defense of a bunch of moving pieces right now on the bottom pairing or whatever. Avs don't really use pairings, but whatever you want to call the bottom two defensemen. You throw EJ into this lineup, and life is good on the defensive side. Like, the Avs' problems defensively, look, obviously Cale Makar made a mistake on the game-winning goal. But other than that, their issues come from they took too many penalties, and they had Hunter, Miska, and Knight, who you can't expect to make an extremely good save on a penalty kill. Like, the Avs' defense, for the most part, played fine on the ice.
That turned in, I mean, after that stop on Landeskog to start the second, that turned into a typical LA game where it just grind. There was no pace to that game. Like, it just slowed down, and it was. That's how they want to play.
It's the problem though, is that the Avs are letting teams do this to them. You know, they did it last night too. They kind of played into it. They did it in the first game of the season against St. Louis. They
not at all imposing their will. Exactly.
Right. Like, they have flashes, right? And that first game, even the blowout game, it took them a little while to kind of get it going.
Yep.
There were moments in that, that the game didn't start 8-0. There were moments in that game that things could have turned around, and it could have been a lot closer. But they just really, so far it's been if when they're playing really well, and because each of the games they've had stretches where they've played very, very well, and if they're not getting enough goals to win the game in that stretch, they aren't.
Straight up. We've yet to, I mean, I guess you could say the 8-0 blowout was a team effort, but we've yet to really see a full team effort from this forward core.
Full 60, I would say.
Full 60, sure.
Well, and they really haven't had a good third period. The 8-0 game didn't matter. Like, whatever.
Game was over
point.
1 minute into the third period. So.
And then they gave up 2 in the first game to LA. Not all of that was like them playing super poorly. I don't think they played incredibly poorly in the third period tonight. They just didn't capitalize. LA did, and that's the difference. But they didn't play nearly well enough. You just have to be better than 4 shots on goal in the third period when you walk in tied. I mean, you just have to.
This is 3 out of 4 games, right?
Yeah,
they got beat soundly by the Blues in game 1.
Yeah, because they entered that third period down 2-1, and it got away from them because they continued their lazy, lethargic, garbage ass play.
And then they even in the game they won against the Kings, they let the Kings hang around, made it way closer than it needed to be. And then this one, the same story starting even earlier. The midway through the second period, the Kings were hanging around, and the Avs. I struggle to even give credit to Jonathan Quick in this game, who has always had the Avs number, but the dude had to make 4 saves in the third period. The Avs just need to get the basics here.
Yeah.
Go back to the fundamentals and stop trying to go top corner, whatever, and hit the net. It's not that hard.
Yeah. I mean, put pucks on net, man. Like, make the damn goalie get in front of a puck.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty straightforward. The other player who was new tonight, Greg Patterin, playing his first game as an Av, he existed. I mean, whatever.
Everybody losing their shit like he was god awful. He was fine.
I bet he plays tomorrow again. I thought he was fine on the PK. Like, it just was. How the puck kept finding him in the offensive zone made no sense to me, especially on that one shift in the third where the Avs were buzzing, and it just 3 straight shots end up on his stick somehow. It's just like, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah, I think that you got exactly what you expected out of Greg Patterin tonight, which is minimal puck movement ability and solid defense. Like,
I don't know why the 7D thing has to continue. You have Martin Count on your taxi squad. Just put a 12th forward in there. Put Bowen Byram in for Connor Timmins.
Drop EJ in, and you're good.
Put Eric Johnson in for Connor Timmins tomorrow, and then whatever, right?
I have a feeling we won't see EJ for a couple more games.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, but
I mean,
I also don't think Kaut is going to be the first guy to go in. That's just my opinion.
Well, he obviously, if they were going to, they would have. But right now, on their taxi squad, it's Kaut and Kiefer Sherwood.
That's what I think they'd put in. I think they'd go Sherwood, but
fine. Put Sherwood.
I think,
in.
I don't like 7D because there's no, the guy who got taken out of that rotation a little bit tonight was Taves, and that's not what you want. 7D just gets a little bit too much especially when you end up, you play 7D and then you got Graves and Patterin out there together, and that's just not an ideal pairing.
Connor Timmins played 8 minutes and 45 seconds tonight. I don't think Connor Timmins was good tonight, but if you're not playing a D 10 minutes in a game, what is he doing in the lineup?
Yeah. And if the result is not you're just double shifting Nathan MacKinnon, especially when he's playing like a madman.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just there's a certain amount of value you need to get out of a player when you put him in the starting lineup.
11-7 is fine. Like in an emergency basis, you can get through. They're choosing to do this right now.
Yep.
They're actively choosing to do this, and it's like,
why?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so they've got multiple defenders that they're trying to work in. Patterin has had like 2 practices. I guess even that might be like, I think today the morning skate might have been the first one, but he got into the damn game, and then Byram and EJ just come back this week. So like, I get that they're like working some of these. Sure. Yeah, they're working some of these guys in, but
Patterns.
It just seems like quit playing just the tip. Go all in with this. Make a damn decision.
Patterns had more numbers than practices.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was so, like, when 5 rolled out there tonight, I was like, who the hell is that?
It's disturbing how much he looks like Nate Gennon. It is freaking me out. Like, it's even the way he skates and, like, holds himself out there, it's just like, ooh, this is PTSD at this point.
Yeah, it was very Nate Gennon-esque. And then he almost got an assist in the third period with MacKinnon out there, and I was like, I'm going to have to donate money to some random ass charity.
On that note, we can take our second period break, which is sponsored by, of course, tonight, Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR.
It's only Thursday, right?
I know.
Be good to go tomorrow.
We promised we were going to have a show for Byram's debut. We just thought it would be tomorrow.
Yeah, we were expecting Friday, but I stayed true to the cause here. You can get your Breck Brew from the farmhouse down in Littleton. They have dozens of flavors. You can also check your local liquor store for what is out there near you. They have stuff countrywide, not everything, but quite a bit of stuff. And of course, you can always go down to the DNVR bar and get 8 different flavors on tap there. Highly recommend you check out Breckenridge Brewery if you have not already. And of course, sponsored by Strava Craft Coffee, the CBD infused coffee that has really changed lives. You can get that at the DNVR bar now, I think. I'm still not 100% sure. I'll tell you when I go down there for whenever I head down there, either Friday or Sunday this weekend. Cold brew, that style, or if you just like your OG coffee, you can get 20% off with code DNVR20 at StravaCraftCoffee.com. You can also get their subscription service, for 20% off every single time you buy. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. Rudo, AJ, Evan. chatting it up after an Avs loss that is just rough. It's just a rough game. It's just a game that this is exactly what I did not want to see from the Colorado Avalanche this year. You want to be a contender. These are the type of games you don't have. The game against the Blues where they lost 4-1. Look, every team doesn't have it some nights.
I'm out on this line of thinking.
I think you're
because I get frustrated with the idea that every game is like some symptom of a, or some like piece of this huge puzzle, right? Like we need, but there are 56 games in a season.
I hear you.
Is every one of them seriously like a symbol of something, or is it just how things went tonight?
And I look,
like, but Cup contenders lose games like this every year, where they just kind of play blah, and the other team sneaks 2 points out from under their nose because they got a little complacent halfway through, and shit didn't go their way, and whatever, blah 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 blah.
It does happen, and look, you have to put this in the bubble of the best team in the league loses 30% of their games every year. It absolutely happens. You can expect that, but it doesn't change the fact that the Avs are 2-2 right now. And yeah, look, I get it. It's early in the year, blah 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 blah. One game doesn't matter, but
it's not that it doesn't matter, just that I don't know that it's necessarily emblematic of their status as a Stanley Cup contender.
And in the long run, I don't think it is either. But when we're dealing with a small sample size, the Avs games include a loss where they clearly didn't have it against St. Louis, a blowout win that was never close, a game where they let LA hang around but just kind of coasted to a win because they had enough, and a game where they let LA hang around and it cost them. How many more games does it take of letting teams hang around to develop a pattern?
I just wonder how the season is going to go, because it's a lot of series, and the reality is if you play the same teams over and over again, coaching is probably going to matter this year, and I think it's going to be hard to beat the same teams back to back on a consistent basis. So it's to me, this is going to be an interesting season, and we've already seen the Avs have just basically split 2 series, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, a good bit this year.
I mean, at some point, there's got to be some separation. Look, the Avs are in an easy division that they should not be in any threat of missing a postseason or anything.
And that's my point. And 100%, we're jumping to conclusions, or rather, I should say, I'm jumping to conclusions massively when we even bring up this conversation. But if the Avs are 500 by game 15, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So they have to create that separation at some point. And 4 games in, yeah, it's reasonable to expect that they haven't created it yet. But I think many people would also like this team to be 3-1 right now.
Yeah, I would think so.
So,
I think the most disappointing thing is that we're 4 games in, and it already looks like Belmar's line is the third line again. Like, this is kind of the problem here. And Bender called out the comfort line again tonight. Like, we're already in this here.
Like, I get wanting Belmar's line to be the 4th line, but the 3rd line needs to show up then.
Donskoy played like 5 minutes at even strength tonight or something like that.
And he was bad. He did not have a good night.
So,
Donskoy hasn't looked any good. I don't think Belmar's looked like he's bad. I mean, Belmar only played about 8 minutes even strength tonight. So I don't think he's looked like he's any good. Confer only played about 11 minutes at even strength. These guys just don't look great. Nichushkin played 15 minutes tonight. That's bad. Stonehands McGee just can't be a guy that plays 15 minutes a night unless you are leading 2-0 in the 3rd period. Then that's okay. But when you need a goal, that guy can't be on the ice for you.
Yeah.
Also, why is he on the power play unit and not Brandon Saad? It's just something that has annoyed me.
Yeah, everyone's saying Comfort needs to lose the 3C spot, but it's like, who? Like, right now, I don't know who could be there. Like, Jost looks good, but he's not producing any offense himself. Like, he had another game where he didn't attempt a shot tonight. So this is, I mean, I'm worried that this is going to be the problem all year long. I mean, Comfort is going to have his moments where he's not playing Chicago this year, so that's going to hurt his numbers. But he's going to have those games where he scores in bunches.
I mean,
it's just going to happen. But
who had a shot tonight?
I know Saad didn't have an attempt either.
The top line had 14 of the Avs' 26 shots, and Ryan Graves had 4. Yeah. The entire rest of the lineup had 8 shots on goal.
Well, and 4 of those came from 3 other defensemen. So you're talking about, in terms of generating shots on goal from the forward core, Calvert 1, Comfort 1, Kadri 2.
Nothing from Donskoy, Belmar, Jost, Nichushkin, and Saad. Nothing.
That is it.
Not good. Not good. And yeah, like, obviously part of that is missed shots, but what are we doing here? Missed shots don't count for anything at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You can't score if you miss the net. So we also saw plenty of, I don't know. Let me pose this question to you two. Did the Avs settle for outside shots too much tonight, outside of obviously Nathan MacKinnon doing Nathan MacKinnon things?
I mean, probably, but that's also how the Kings force you to play. And we've seen it. The Avs shoot from their point all the time. It's something that they constantly do. I mean, the thing with Graves that drives me insane is that he just launches it every time. There's not a second thought. That's the only thing that comes into his mind. So, yeah, I mean, they probably settled for too much outside, but the other lines just weren't creating anything. They could have gotten inside anyway, so I don't know what else you can do.
Okay. I can live with that, I guess. How then, if the Avs do like that outside shot, how do they, going forward, better impose their style of hockey on the opponent? Because just skate, more skating all the way through.
Honestly, when the Avs when they're moving their feet and they're engaged in the kind of play that they want to, they almost never lose.
Okay.
I mean, how often do you see teams outplay the Avs playing the way that the Avs want to play?
Almost never.
And then when the Avs get into these other types of games, they're all over the place. They still win plenty of them. Like, it's not like, oh, they never win these games. They win plenty of these types of games. It's just that they're nowhere near as good. When they get out on teams and they're running up and, it's the run and gun, they're dominant, like legitimately dominant. When they're just out skating teams, they're great. They haven't really done that in 4 games this year, though. They haven't really.
How do
I
you
thought they were going to do it tonight.
I mean,
first period, it looked like it.
How do you get there then? Look, the top line's clearly doing their thing.
I mean, that's I don't like getting into the conversation, but it's an effort thing. I don't like engaging in a lot of effort talk because it's so armchair quarterbacking. But I mean, you're not moving your feet, man. There's no excuse. It's an effort thing. That's work.
Let's be honest. That goal goes in at the start of the second period and it's 3-0. You know what? You probably get away with letting off the gas a little bit. And you probably
like they did 2 nights ago when they had a 3-0 lead.
Right, but you have to get there before you take your foot off the gas. You can't just say, well, we're up 2-0 and we're dominating this game. All right, let's go home. You have to finish the job. So I think the good news there is the long-term outlook is there's basically no worries about this hockey team. They'll put it together, and most of the teams in this Western Conference, you expect the Avs to handle on any given night. But right now, we're kind of just sitting here waiting for them to do it.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't we've seen the Avs at like 70% strength so far this year.
Yep.
They haven't put together 2 good games.
Yep.
You know, they're like 2 like beginning to end like solid performances. It's not, they don't have to dominate all the time. So often you see people like, oh, you have to play 60 minutes. And what they think that they're saying is that you have to dominate for 60 minutes. Otherwise, you don't play well. But no, there's an NHL team on the other side of the ice there. You're going to lose stretches of game. You know, there are going to be areas in games where you get outplayed. That's just how it goes. There's another NHL team out there, even if you are better than them.
The standings don't care how well you play. They don't care if you beat the Blues 8-0 or you beat the Kings 3-2. It's 2 points at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how you get there. And obviously playing better will get you a win more often, but you do what you have to do to win hockey games. And that's exactly what the Avs did not do in tonight's game. So I don't know. I don't think it's that complicated of an issue. Everybody knows the Avs are capable of being better. They just have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, at some point they're going to win 3 games in a row, and it's like, okay, like this is a little better.
Yep, I think it
just hasn't happened yet. Like they've so far they've just been meh. They've just been really meh as a team overall.
Yep,
the 8-0, and we knew that the 8-0 win was going to color everything,
right,
in a certain way. But it's just. They had one really awesome game, and then they've otherwise been a really blah team.
Agreed.
It's been a slow start in a season where they needed a fast one. And that's through 4 games. It hasn't been fast. You know, we break down seasons in chunks of 10 games. But, you know, when we get toward, we'll be halfway there tomorrow night when we're doing the post-game pod.
I look at it this way because it's a shortened season. Game 6, you're over 10% of the way done with the season. If the Avs split against Anaheim coming up, they're 3-3 at the 1/10th mark of the year. And even then, we'd expect the Avs to be fine. But this isn't a normal NHL season where you can get away with puttering around for the first 20 games of the season. I think just given the relative strength of the division, they probably could, honestly. I think they can make the playoffs. Do I think they have a chance to win if they're playing like this for the first 20 games of the season? Yeah. No, I don't think they win the division.
Yeah, we'll see.
Does winning the division even matter? You're the whole argument there. Not the point.
I think it will. I think winning the division is important this year, yeah, because you're very likely whoever doesn't win the division, you get second or third, and it's such a tougher road. So I think winning the division does matter. You know, the Vegas is off to a great start, but you know, Vegas has also had a couple of comeback wins where it's like you're not going to do that all year.
You might not be able to do that all year, but you know, the Avs just let the Kings come back on them. So
yeah, well, and the Kings let Minnesota come back on them. So I mean, you know, this is what I'm saying. Right now, the division it's just a big ball of mess.
Yeah, it's a mess for sure. And that's fine. There's still plenty of time for the Avs to separate themselves, and expectation is that they should, but they have to do it. We're not sitting here with the Avs 4-0, 3-1, saying, look, if they take these games against Anaheim, they're cruising. Now, it almost feels like they need both games against Anaheim.
I'm not even going to go that far. And Minnesota's at 6 points at 3-1 on the year. Are we all sitting there jerking them off?
Come on. I'm not making an argument for the Avs missing the playoffs. I don't think that's even in the sphere of reality at the moment. But Vegas has a hot start. You want to keep pace with them? You want to stay in contention early? And yeah, look, 20 games from now, I might be looking at this podcast and saying, well, none of that mattered. Everyone's close. The Avs are pushing for the top. But
yeah, well, and this year too, you have 8 4-point games against that opponent.
Yep.
Like the Avs are going to have plenty of opportunities straight up against Vegas, where they don't have to deal with scoreboard watching. They're going to have 8 shots at them. I mean, who's playing hot right now, who's playing great right now. I mean, it's 4 games. I'm serious. It's
I get it. I get it. You're not worried.
But had they lost all 4 games, I'd be feeling differently. You
No doubt.
don't have time for losing streaks in this season. You don't have time for that. But they're not, right as of this moment, if the season were to end after 4 games, the Avs are in the postseason.
Sure.
It's kind of my point, is that
I hear you. It's
whatever.
At the end of the day, it's still a super small sample size. And the Avs are just fine. But there's more to give. I think everyone on this podcast believes the Avs have a lot more.
That's they're 2-2, and they have one good game, like an absurd game under their belt. They haven't had like a good performance where you're like, okay, this is the kind of game that we can expect from the Avs on a regular basis. They just haven't had one of those yet.
Yep. The first game against the Kings felt a little bit like that for the first half of it, and then they kind of packed it in a little bit. But they play Anaheim tomorrow night. They don't get to sit around and stew in this loss. They get to go again in less than 24 hours.
That's the good part of the schedule, is that you don't have to sit and think about anything. You're mad about how you played? Great. You have another opportunity to go back and do a thing. And again, with the way that the division is, they're going to be the more talented team the majority of the night.
All right. Let's hear from the couch. What does Evan have to say on this?
Yeah, I mean, they get to go back at it tomorrow against the team they should beat. And, I mean, the whole back-to-back thing to me is it's like a 45-minute drive, so I don't really think it plays into it. So
I think it matters because Anaheim didn't play tonight.
Yeah, it matters a little bit. And also, if the Avs decide to go 11-7 again tomorrow, then I'll be a little bit, confused as to why they're doing that. But
they should go 13-5.
Yeah, 18-0. But you just want to see some consistency and really just a full game. That's all you really want, and hopefully you get that tomorrow. Maybe playing in front of Gruby gives them a little bit more confidence. Who knows?
I think that's kind of the topic with this game. Is there are so many ways the Avs could have won this game. You take care of business on the offensive side, you probably win. You don't give up stupid penalties, you probably win. And the Avs just found a way to lose.
Yep.
So stop doing that. Start finding ways to win. Any final thoughts beyond what we've covered so far before I go pass out?
Nope. There's not much more to say about this one.
Excited to get back to it tomorrow. I'm gonna really enjoy the schedule once we really get into that rhythm.
For sure. I hopefully won't be as drunk for tomorrow's game. We can at least hope for that.
We'll see.
If they start blowing out Anaheim, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
It'll be DNV after dark in a real big hurry.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be drunk for a big win. That'd be nice. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the bell if you want notifications every single time we go live, which is after every single Avalanche game and on 1 p.m. for weekdays that the Avs don't play. Appreciate y'all giving me the good vibes in the chat. We love all of you. Hope you guys didn't hate the loss too much. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching, listening, however you consume the podcast. We're going to get out of here for the night. Plenty of post-game coverage coming your way at thednvr.com. You guys will hear from us. I don't know if we'll be at the bar tomorrow or Sunday.
Allie has to let us know that.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know on Twitter where we'll be for the next post-game, but hopefully we'll see you there. Have a good rest of your night. We'll talk to y'all after the game tomorrow.